Audi e-tron, the all-electric SUV, is going on sale here in the US next month. But the question is, does Audi know how to sell electric cars? They've just produced their second all-electric car commercial for the e-tron, and I'm starting to have my doubts. I'll explain coming up next.
Taking over the world, electrifying the world, E4 Electric!
Welcome to E4 Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on the subscribe button so you don't miss anything moving forward. All right, so as you know, I'm a reservation holder for the Audi e-tron. I've been kind of really looking forward to it. I have to say, I'm getting some cold feet, and one of the reasons for it is I'm just wondering if Audi is, on one hand, they have 3 more electric cars to be released in the next couple of years. No joke. They're really like moving forward with that. And they've been pretty aggressive spending money and promoting the e-tron. They're not shying away. They are going to be showcasing them in their dealership, which I thought might not happen. So in general, I've been very happy with what's been happening. But you know, I don't know if you remember. And by the way, I was able to test drive the car in Spain and take it off road and race it. So I'm pretty familiar with this car. It's not the best car on the market. Tesla is, but as you know, it's definitely going to be a better ownership experience altogether for me, who had a very hard time throughout 3 of my Teslas. But again, that's not open that can of worms. But all right, so they've produced a commercial that they've aired at the Super Bowl, and of course it was historic because this was the first time where an all-electric car was advertised during the Super Bowl. The only thing is, it was really weird. As a matter of fact, they weren't really advertising the e-tron, the SUV. The car that was in the video is e-tron GT, the 4-door sedan that's coming in 2021. There's a video of me test driving that car, which was pretty cool to test drive the car that ended up in the commercial. But what's not cool is that, see that shadowy figure on the back? That's the e-tron they're supposed to be selling, but somehow they're selling this. As a matter of fact, by watching this commercial, you almost don't know that it's an electric car. It ends up with the guy choking, and it's like, it was a mess. I already did a video about it. I did not think there was a good way to handle it. But now they've produced another one, and I have to say, it's almost like they don't really get it. It's almost like they don't really own electric cars themselves or understand what an electric car or future electric car owner wants. So let me show you that commercial, and let's break it down and see if maybe I'm getting the wrong impression, but I certainly am not really getting the point. Before that, of course, I want to remind you that this video and this channel is sponsored by Byton. Check out the all-new Byton M-Byte coming to the US and Europe next year, starting at only $45,000. And look how easy it is to reserve one. There is no payment at all. It's $0 to reserve yours. I would suggest you do it immediately before the line gets too long. You can go to byton.com or check out their reservation link in the description of this video to reserve your Byton today. Okay, so let's talk about this commercial that they produced. I'm going to actually run it with sound so you can check it out, and then we can talk about it. Okay, here we go.
I know what you're thinking. Electric, it's not for you. And you're probably right. Electric just doesn't have enough range. It will never survive the winter. Everyone knows water and electricity don't mix. No more hanging out here either. Charging stations? Good luck finding one of those. Electric just can't keep up. So, maybe an electric car isn't for you after all. Or is it?
You're right. Right. So I think this commercial is more for, I think it's making things worse. First, they're going over all of the myths that people have about electric cars, and that's good. I like the concept, right? But the way they kind of rebuttal it is not really good. Okay, let's just take for the charging stations, right? People have seen charging stations before, and they're showing one in the commercial, but that's not the way to combat the fact that people think there are not that many. It's not that people don't believe they don't exist. It's just there's not enough. I would say the best way to prove that is to show the map with all of the superchargers and Electrify America chargers and level 2 chargers and home chargers and they're public and maybe part of the EV match and so forth. If you do that and essentially you won't even see the map of the United States because it's just going to be so many, I feel like that would be the way to get to people. Like, for example, I remember when I was afraid of flying, what really made me turn around is to realize how many planes are in the air at any point of time. And somebody showed me a map of how many planes are in the air, and I couldn't see the map of the entire world except for like Africa and Antarctica because it was just all covered in planes. Kind of the same concept, So that's how you kind of prove it. As far as the, racing a race car, I don't know where you're going with that. I think you should try beating another gas car but even that is really not the thing with this particular car, at least. But definitely racing what is it, Formula car is just, I don't even understand what the point was there with that. As far as long trips are concerned, listen, you don't know how he got from one place to another. We get it. You can get to places, but you should tell people about the fast charging, that you can charge at 150 kilowatts and it only takes, 20 minutes while you're peeing and getting a McDonald's a burger while your car is charging to almost like 80% or whatever. Like, that's like the stuff that people really get. I feel like they basically almost did a disservice to themselves by saying, okay, well, these are all the things, and by the way, we're not like these are all the things that you guys think why you should not buy an electric car, and we're really not gonna do that much to prove you wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. I'm definitely not, I didn't even understand the first commercial. Some people had to explain the first commercial to me, so maybe the same people can explain this one. But I don't think it's good. So now there's another commercial. Oh, it's actually a 2-minute video on Audi's YouTube channel that actually does explain things about the battery charging and all of that stuff. And that actually an educational video, but obviously people don't want to see this as a commercial. I think this is more for people who actually want to sit down and figure things out, and obviously not a massive appeal that you can put in a commercial break between the game breaks and stuff like that. But they do have it. I just want to point out that they do have that video. All right, well, let's break this down into positives and negatives. Now, first of all, let me just give some props to Audi for just doing it in the first place, right? They are the ones who are investing more money than I've seen anybody invest into advertising their electric car. They are not shying away from it like GM. They're not shying away from even Nissan had kind of slowed down with their Nissan Leaf, even though I feel like the new Nissan Leaf should be advertised more. They are not shying away from this stuff. They are spending a lot of money. They already put it on the Super Bowl. Now this is going to be a new wave ahead of their launch here in the United States. So kudos to them for doing all of that. Absolutely, good try. But at the same time, I feel and I guess this is. As we're going to the negatives, at the same time, I feel that people who are like in charge of this have no clue how to sell these cars. They have no clue what the challenges are of getting people excited into getting an electric car. And I really think they need to find somebody who would understand it, who would be part of the existing electric car community, maybe do some focus group. Gee, I hope they've done focus groups, though doesn't look like they have, and find out what people how you convince people, not just what people are afraid of. Maybe that's what their focus group was about. Maybe you should find out the people who have been convinced to switch from a gas car to an electric car. Do a focus group with them and see not only what their fears were, but what it took to overcome those fears and work that video from there. Again, great concept. Kudos for doing it. Kudos for being behind your product, unless many other manufacturers. But once again, the execution can be much, much better. Now, I'd like to hear from you guys. What would you do differently about this video? Or do you think this video is good enough? Definitely would like to know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to our weekly newsletter. It's our VIP list. You'll get exclusive content that you don't get here on this channel or even on our website. So go to e4electric.com/VIP. That link is also in the description of this video. And of course, let me not forget to thank one of my newer Patreons, Elias Antonia. Thank you so much for joining my Patreon community, the only place where you can watch me live. If you want to join, go to patreon.com/e4electric. There's also a link in the description of this video. All right, looking forward to your comments, guys. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.